Hi, I'm Richard Mawson, better known as the Cobot Coach. I create practical content to help manufacturers understand cobots, reduce the confusion around automation, and get clarity on what actually makes sense for their business. Because the truth is, a lot of companies know automation matters, but they're still unsure on where to start. That's exactly why I created my platform to make cobot automation easier to understand through short, useful, and educational content. So, with that in mind, here are the top 5 reasons UK manufacturers are buying cobots in 2026. Number one, labour shortages. One of the biggest reasons manufacturers are investing in cobots is simple. They're struggling to find and retain people for repetitive shop floor tasks. A lot of these jobs are physically tiring, repetitive, and not always easy to recruit for. And even when businesses do fill them, keeping those roles filled can be a challenge. Cobots help relieve some of that pressure. They can take on more repetitive parts of the process, while existing staff focus on the work that needs more skill, judgment, and expertise. So, for many manufacturers, cobots are not really taking jobs, they're not really replacing people. They're about helping the team they already have operate more efficiently. Number two, the need to improve productivity. Manufacturers across the UK are under pressure to get more from what they already have, more output from the same floor space, more consistency from the same process, and better performance without constantly increasing the labor cost and overhead. That's where cobots are becoming a real attractive proposition. They give manufacturers a practical way to improve cycle time, efficiency, reduce wasted time, and keep production moving more reliably. And importantly, they can often do that without the scale, disruption, or complexity of a much larger automation project or system. So when businesses are under pressure to do more with less, cobots start to make a commercial sense. Number three, more flexible production. This is a big one, especially in UK manufacturing. A lot of businesses are not running huge, fixed, high volume production lines. They're dealing with mixed products, smaller batch sizes, and changeovers, and more variation in what their customers demand. This kind of environment needs flexibility, and that's one of the biggest strengths of cobots. They're generally much easier to move, reprogram, and redeploy than traditional automation systems. So instead of being locked into one process forever, manufacturers can start thinking more flexibly about the automation across their sites. This makes cobots a much better fit for the way a lot of UK manufacturers actually operate and run every single day. Number four, the barrier to entry is lower. For many companies, traditional automation still feels like a huge leap. It's either too complex, too expensive, or too disruptive. And sometimes it's just too difficult to justify as a first move. Cobots have helped change that. They're often easier to program, easier to integrate, and easier to fit around existing factory environments. They also tend to need less infrastructure, less space, and a simpler path to getting up and running. So instead of automation feeling like an all or nothing decision, cobots can give manufacturers a more realistic and approachable first step into automation, providing results quickly and efficiently. This is a huge reason why adoption is growing, especially in the UK and Ireland. And finally, number five, quality, consistency, and better working conditions for humans. Cobots are also being purchased because manufacturers want better repeatability. If you've got a task that needs to be done the same way over and over and over again, consistency really does matter. And where manual processes can naturally vary, a cobot can help standardize the task and reduce unwanted variation. But there's another side to this as well. Cobots can also take people away from awkward, repetitive, or physically draining jobs. So the benefit is not just process consistency, it's all about improving the day to day working environment on the shop floor for your staff. And when you combine better working quality, conditions, and ergonomics, that becomes a strong justifier for automation. And finally, cobots are no longer just an interesting piece of technology. For many UK manufacturers, they're becoming one of the most practical and fast ways to improve productivity, increase flexibility, and take that first step into automation. And that's exactly why Cobot Coach is here to support. CobotCoach.com is coming soon, and it's been built to help manufacturers understand cobots, identify real opportunities, and move forward with confidence. If you want to be the first to hear when we launch, pre-register now at CobotCoach.com.